Log it or lose it.
Log it or lose it.
So we are here in the Kern River Valley, literally on the river. And this video is going to be all about the Kern River Valley area.
Yeah, and the Whiskey Flat Days, it's not really a carnival, it's just an event, like a...
I don't really know if it's some sort of event. Anyways,
there's a street fair, there's a rodeo.
There's like an encampment, you can like go throw axes.
There's a parade, and it's kind of about like the history of the town and all about how it got started back in the gold rush days.
Like the 1850s, right?
Yeah.
So originally where we are standing right now was considered Whiskey Flats. That was the town name in like the 1850s-ish.
I think 1863?
I read 1854.
No, that's when the town of like Rogersville was created.
You read too much. Anyway,
the town was renamed multiple times.
Yes, and originally Kernville was actually down by Lake Isabella, and then they moved it here, and Whiskey Flats lost its name, but they still do this event to like how do you say that word?
Commemorate.
I said it fine.
Commemorate the history of the town.
And I've been coming to this area for a very long time, pretty much ever since I was born. We started coming here for a car show that is every October. We're into hot rods and cars and whatnot. And then we kept coming because there's so many activities like snowboarding up the hill.
There's camping, there's hiking, RV camping, which actually right across the river is Frandy Campground.
That's a great campground right in town. We'll put a link in that for you guys. There's backpacking, there's four-wheel drive trails, mountain biking,
fishing, boating.
There's Lake Isabella, which obviously this river goes into Lake Isabella. You can float the river in inner tubes, or if the water is too swift, you can pay and go down in a big raft with like a tour guide.
You can actually go whitewater rafting, or if the water is not too fast, you can go down in like inner tubes. But you got to be careful about how fast the water's flowing because it can get really dangerous. So you got to be mindful of the cubic feet per second that are actually flowing, which we'll put a link down below to explain a little bit more of that.
And then, yeah, so I've been coming my whole life, and Melissa started coming a little bit before we were dating.
Yeah, like when we were friends, we would come up here with other friends to go snowboarding and whatnot. And then once we started dating, I became part of the family pretty much and started coming up here every year to just partake in all the different activities.
And my parents bought a cabin right down the road in Wofford Heights, I don't know, like 2006, 2009? 2006.
How do I know that and you don't even know that?
You remember weird stuff that really doesn't matter. So
time frames, like
we started coming here
birthdays
on a more consistent basis, and this is an event that we haven't been to in a few years, so we figured we'd come, give you a little brief history of the town, and we will try to show you some of the local camping areas like Frandy here. There's free camping upriver, and then there's camping down by Lake Isabella on the shore. So we'll try to show you all that, and we'll also try to show you the best routes in, because the two main roads into this town are pretty windy canyons, and I don't want to say they're not big rig friendly. I mean, semi trucks come through there, but you're gonna be nervous if you're not comfortable towing your rig.
Yeah, it's pretty narrow, and the canyons do get closed down when there's rock slides, especially like in the winter time if it's raining or snowing occasionally. So there's a few different ways to get into this area.
So I'm not sure, but I think a lot of these vendors probably come from the Bakersfield area. That's like the biggest city, I would say, right? In the area.
It's about, what, like 45 minutes away? An hour?
Yeah, I think it's an hour and 45 minutes, so it would make sense. So that giant logging truck, we've gone way upriver before, up the canyon, and it gets really narrow and really switchbacky and windy. And I've been going up a road before, and all of a sudden you just see one of those logging trucks come down and just basically takes both lanes. They just kind of do what they want
just
up
full
there.
send, just
But can you imagine coming around a corner in a windy canyon, and all of a sudden you just see these giant logs
coming right at you,
and just on the horn, just basically get out of my way.
Move it or lose it, pal.
Move it or lose it. Log it or lose it.
Log it or lose it. That's what it says. Log it or lose it. Don't burn it.
Don't burn it. Those are big logs.
Freaking huge.
Alright, so that's how I always say it.
Alright, so.
Anyways, that's what I say too. We walked from the parade, the town area. It's like, I don't know, like 3/4 of a mile walk down to what's called the encampment, which is really cool. It's right by the river. The river's down over here. What they do here at the encampment is they reenact what it was like back when it was whiskey flats.
So they have like the blacksmith, and they have an old saloon and all these different tents, as you can see behind us, set up to kind of reenact what it would have actually been like back in the day.
It's very cool.
When this was a mining camp area.
Yeah, and it's in the woods. They have a saloon, like she said, the blacksmith. And then down the other way, they actually have some Indian teepees because there's a lot of Native Americans in this area. Mm-hmm. So it's just really cool. They kind of have like they're just showing you how stuff was made, how stuff was done. It's like your typical Western. It's really cool.
Yeah, they've got a couple covered wagons and a little like horse stable. So
you know, down by the river.
Some stuff and some things right across the street from the rodeo.
Yeah, which I don't know if we're gonna go to rodeo or not.
I don't know.
But they do have a rodeo as well, and it's all this weekend, and it's really cool. So the parade was great, and yeah, now we're over here for a while.
You.
We're gonna round it. So the first step is putting it into an octagon. So it had 4 sides, now it's got 8 sides. Now I'm gonna hit down each one of those. So it basically has almost 16 sides if you're able to look at it carefully.
So cool.
It can reach like 2,500 degrees.
Oh, really?
What are we having today?
Apple pie.
And the town got the name Whiskey Flat for about a year, right?
Whiskey Flats. Yes.
Before they renamed it to Kernville.
Yep.
I don't know. This looks a lot nicer than an RV, right, babe?
Yes.
What do you think about that tent compared to an RV?
I'm thinking that the RV is probably more comfortable.
She doesn't like adventure.
What?
What did you think of the encampment, babe?
That was awesome. It was basically like a little living museum.
Yeah, it's well, I hadn't been there in a very long time. It's cool that they are still doing it strong.
I didn't even know that they did that, or that they had a rodeo over here.
Wait, you haven't been here with me?
I've been to this, but we just walked around the vendors before. I didn't realize it was a whole big thing like this.
Oh, yeah. I guess I should have told you that.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of the general Whiskey Flat days. They have the vendors, they have the parade, they have the encampment, and they even have the rodeo if you want to go do that. But it's only once a year.
Yes. President's Day weekend.
President's Day
February.
February.
February. So now we're heading upriver to one of the free camping areas, kind of show you guys what that looks like. And this is part of the Sequoia National Forest, right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
experienced sunflower seed.
Yeah, I'm a seasoned sunflower seed
Connoisseur.
So when you head through the town of Kernville and you hang a left and you go north or upriver, we always just call it upriver, there are a few campgrounds that you can pay for, like James Camp we just passed, and there's River Nook and James Camp, and then you keep going further up, and then there's like I would say they're like national forest campgrounds that you pay, and it's, you know, a little more on the rough side. I mean, but it's probably cheaper.
More primitive, yeah.
More primitive. And then as you go even further, there's just dirt turnouts that are like quite large where you can camp. And I think they're free. Don't quote me to that, but we're gonna go up there and we'll show you guys and we'll let you know.
So as you can see, there's a laundry list of rules and regulations that need to be followed when camping in free areas. Please do your research and read up on, usually the U.S. Forest Service websites will have information for you, but do your research, people. So we are pulling up now to the Auxiliary Dam Recreation Site right next to the dam that created Lake Isabella, and it's a national forest area, so it's either a $10 a day fee or a $50 like regional area annual pass, or if you have the National Park Interagency Pass, it's actually free, and you also can get 50% off your dump fees because dump station here is not free.
Yes, and it would look to be currently closed.
Yeah.
But that's something you can call on.
Yes. And there's no camp host here right now, but it looks like there's a camp host spot. So
and then you're right, you can camp right on the water. It's like dispersed. There's a bunch of fire rings down there. You can pick your own spot.
You are supposed to have a permit to have a fire though.
Yeah, that's just like California in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really cool. I see a triple axle toy hauler, so bigger rigs for sure can come down here. There's a bunch of smaller RVs. There's rigs of all sizes, so if you're coming to this area and you're looking for something that's easily accessible, I'd say this is probably one of the best, rather than like opposed going upriver where we showed you guys before.
Yeah, some of the turns can be a little bit tighter, and this is definitely more open, and it's free if you have the interagency pass already, which if you're RVing a lot,
you probably
I feel like most people have that. Maybe. It's like the one that's like $80 a year for the annual pass.
If you're like me and you don't really like national parks, then yeah.
When you gotta get into national parks, man?
They don't like dogs.
No, they don't like dogs. That's hard sometimes.